teams. So let's go ahead and rank the remaining 8 teams in the NFL playoffs. If you're new here, we start at number 8. So we'll start at number 8 here with the team that I went with last week that I unfortunately had to put at 8 here, the New York Football Giants.
Yeah.
I think I really enjoyed watching that football game. I think they played a really, really nice football game. I like watching Dable coach. You can kind of see where his influences are. Mm-hmm. It's a promising team. I like that they have an identity, right? You kind of know what you're going to get. You're going to get a really nice front seven. You're going to get about 3 or 4 really nice, clever play calls every game, a physical offensive line, a good run game, relatively safe throws from Daniel Jones. And that's what I'm going to get every single game with them. But again, that has limitations, right? When you go up against, whether that be a better defense, whether that be a better quarterback, they have limitations in terms of can they win a shootout? Can they win, a tight one against a really, really good defense? They haven't shown that yet, so that's why they're at 8, and that's why they're technically the worst team remaining right now.
And I feel like they're one of the teams that has one way to win, right? So when they see the teams that can throw multiple things at you, that it doesn't matter if their running back's out, it doesn't matter if they're down to top receiver, because they have other ways they can hit you. And there's multiple ways to win. I feel like just out-scheme the Giants in most games. But I think what this season has shown for New York is that they have a lot of hope moving forward, especially with Brian Dable at the helm.
100%.
Because you get a couple drafts under his belt.
Yep.
He starts getting the players he wants, starts building his culture, and I think they have a really big upside. But at 8, you look at the talent on this list, and you can't put them higher.
Yeah. No, I agree. Number 7, let's go Jacksonville because, again, like you're saying, I do think they also have one way to win, and I think it's Trevor Lawrence has to be really, really good. Doug Peterson has to call a really nice offensive game, and Trevor Lawrence has to execute to the top of his ability.
Yeah.
And we saw that. We saw that and the lack of that on display against the Chargers. We saw the first half how none of it came together, and the second half how all of it came together. It's a little too streaky for me. But they are ahead of the Giants because they do have more talent. I like their quarterback better. I think the weapons on the outside are better. They don't have quite the front seven that the Giants do, but in a weapons and quarterback league, they have a better quarterback and better weapons. That's why they're slightly higher than the Giants.
And the halftime adjustment is a big thing, too.
Yeah.
When you're able to adjust on the fly, when your OC is able to have the ability to move things around, realize things aren't working, call different schemes, change things up a little bit.
Yeah.
Because when you look at that in comparison with the Steelers, it's almost inverse, right? They usually have a pretty good first half when it's all scripted. They know what they're going to do. They come out in the second half, and they just can't make adjustments.
Yeah, I agree.
At least the coaching staff in Jacksonville and, I guess, the players, but this speaks a lot to the coaching, that they have it together, that they have some sort of a semblance of a plan, that they know that they're going to be able to go in and make adjustments throughout the games, and at least it's going to help them have a chance to win.
What helps when your quarterback's 6'5", 200 pounds, the rocket arm and can move.
And the football Jesus. So.
Yeah, that's going to help. All right, number 6 here. We're going to get some hate for this, but the Cowboys at 6. One, every other roster ahead of them is more talented, point blank. And you'll see why as we continue. And I mean, you can guess the 5 teams, obviously. But they all have more talented rosters. Look, and they all have better quarterback play right now. The one team doesn't have a better quarterback. Like the Niners don't have a better quarterback, but they're getting better quarterback play. Go look over the last 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah.
They've gotten better quarterback play when it comes to rating, completion percentage, touchdowns per game.
Points per game.
Less turnovers, right? But And I like Dak. Dak's a really, really nice quarterback. But at the end of the day, are they going to face that bad of a defense the rest of the way out? No, they're not. No, they're not. Unless they somehow get to the Super Bowl and meet, like, the Chiefs. That's it. Right? So Dak is not going to be able to go ahead and throw for 5 touchdowns, or I guess record 5 total touchdowns against the defense that he's going to face this weekend. It's just not going to happen.
No.
But at the end of the day, I do like their talent, right? I think CeeDee Lamb's a nice receiver. I think he's more of a 2 than a 1, but he's fine as a 1. I think they have a nice tight end. The offensive line's starting to come together. They have 2 good backs, good pass rusher, streaky, but I would say top 10 to 12 corner in the league right now.
Yeah.
I think their linebackers, when it comes to not, pass rushing, lack a little bit of coverage skills. But overall, nice defense, nice weapons. It's overall a really good roster with a really good quarterback. Yeah. Not great, not special anywhere, but a really good roster.
I agree. They finally been able to do something in the playoffs now. I see it ending rather quickly, but hey, they did enough, and they have enough talent to be above the Jags, to be above the Giants, and then The rest of that list is
brutal
brutal if you're Dallas.
You know what kind of rubbed me the wrong way? Because we have time here to digress a bit. The fact that they're putting on chains and dancing in the locker room after they beat a sub-500 team in a wild card round.
Yeah.
Like, you won 12 games. Isn't that the bare minimum expectation?
In Dallas, at least.
You were competing for the number 1 seed in week, 17. And we're putting on chains? Like,
I don't know if you have that type of lead, you know? Like,
that's
I can
weird.
see the Carolina Panthers in 2014 doing that, right? Because they went undefeated the whole season.
That kind of rubs me the wrong way.
Oh, 100%.
All right, number 5, the Bills. Look, I'm sorry, but with no dependent run game, a mediocre offensive line, and no dependable number 2, look, people want to say Gabe Davis. Gabe Davis has not been dependable. With no number 2 outside of Stephon Diggs and giving up 31 points to Skylar Thompson, I can't trust the Bills. I can't. I'm sorry. And I love Josh Allen, and I think they, at their peak, at their high end, I think they might be better than any other team in the league. But I am not getting that consistently enough to say, yep, I'm going to ride with them the rest of the way.
Especially from the defense.
Yeah, 31 points, come on. I know their offense put them in some tough spots with Josh Allen's picks, but, it's just not excusable against a third-string quarterback. It's just not.
I mean, come on. I could see I know. I can't even see that with Tua. With their starter.
And I like Josh Allen, but the turnovers have to at some point become you got to Daniel Jones it, right? You got to relax a little bit with it.
Sometimes you got to make the safe throw.
Yeah. All right, number 4, the Eagles, and I think the Eagles are really talented and I can see them with a resounding victory, maybe moving up a slot. But I just, with their health in flux still a little bit, I can't put them higher in good faith, knowing that they could go out there and still be beat up and not look all that dominant. But if they are healthy, they could very well put forth the best performance this divisional weekend.
And let's not forget the Eagles as a whole have kind of looked like a different team the second half of the season compared
100%.
to how they started out.
Yeah.
So I feel like, when you are a top seed like that and you get the bye and teams don't see you for a minute, I feel like fans and their hopes can kind of surpass what the team actually is.
Yeah.
Right. So I
don't think that's
I see a lot of power rankings coming out this week that have the Eagles at 2, Eagles at 3. And I'm not sure I can get behind that, especially when you look at the teams on the list above them.
I don't know their health right now. If they come out fully healthy and dominate, then we could talk. But right now, they haven't been healthy. They haven't been healthy for 3 weeks.
Even a fully healthy Eagles team, I don't think beats the number 3 team here,
which is the Bengals. And I would say most of that probably boils down to quarterback. I think the Bengals have the most poised, the most accurate, and the most precise quarterback in the game right now.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow gets the ball, right? And it's one of those where it's kind of frustrating because he looks like every other guy, right? He doesn't do anything that's wildly spectacular, right? He's got a good arm, not great. He moves well, but not
better than Josh Allen,
not great.
Not Patrick Mahomes.
Right, he's not a Mahomes, he's not an Allen, he's not a Lamar, not a Kyler.
Yeah.
Moves good, not great. Good arm, not great. But all he does is check into the right place. He does all the little boring things, right? Checks into the right plays, checks out of the wrong plays, gets the ball out on time, in rhythm, accurately, to the right people. Yards after the catch, right? He does all the little things really well, and that's why the Bengals are 3. It's very Brady-esque, although I'm not comparing him to him. It's very Brady-esque, though, at this point in his career.
Yeah. Dominating the cerebral side of things.
Absolutely.
Being able to think through the game.
Doing every little detail correctly.
Yeah, and when you can master the basics like that, a lot of the times you'll end up being pretty good. You'll end up winning football games. It's not the flashiest, but it will win you football games.
Couldn't agree more. Let's go with the Chiefs at number 2. Look, it's the best offense.
Yeah,
I think they
easily.
probably have the best coach in football right now. It's close with the number 1 team, but I think he's been more proven. He's won the big game. He's won a Super Bowl. So, with Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, that offense in an offensive league, come on.
They're very inventive.
Very, very inventive. To be able to rebuild an offensive line and then a receiving core in 2 straight off seasons and for it to not really matter is spectacular.
Lose your number 1 guy. It doesn't matter.
It's wildly impressive. Number 1, let's go with the Niners. Look, they've scored 37 straight points in 4 straight games.
Yeah.
Let that sink in for a second.
It has sunken in.
With the Mr. Impossible
with
or
Mr. Irrelevant.
Yeah.
Yeah, the last guy taken in the draft. Now this is a Cinderella story, right? If they win,
a little bit, but also it's the best route. They have an all-pro level player at every level.
Yeah, but that is
crazy.
Brock Purdy,
right?
That is crazy.
No rookie quarterback has ever led their team.
Most important position in football.
And I would argue in sports.
In sports, sure.
Yeah.
This dude, this is Mr. Irrelevant. This is the last draft pick.
Yeah.
This is not supposed to happen in the NFL.
Yeah. I know. Well, it does happen when you have an all-pro Tackle, all pro tight end, all pro. I would argue 2 all pro wide receivers,
insane,
an all pro back, linebacker, pass rusher, DB, safety. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. The stories this year